And we're here at the International Energy Forum, and joining me now is Adam Sieminski. He is the president of KAPSARC. And indeed, Adam, it's sort of KAPSARC Day at the International Energy Forum today. Talk to me a little bit about how special it is.
Well, KAPSARC has been involved for a long time with the International Energy Forum, helping sponsor this yearly event and bringing a lot of very bright people that understand all aspects of energy together to promote dialogue on the important issues of the day. This particular meeting will be talking a lot about environmental issues. IRENA, the International Renewable Energy Agency, is being featured in today's program, and I'll be talking a lot about what we call the circular carbon economy. It's ways of allowing all options to be considered in dealing with climate change and carbon dioxide.
And indeed, it has to be about all options because it's not black and white, this issue, and it's not going to be resolved that quick. The energy transition will take some time, and also we need all parties involved. Talk to me a little bit about the circular carbon economy, and also I think the support you have, particularly here, you're based here in Saudi Arabia, and the support you have, from the minister. This is something also the energy minister in Saudi Arabia, is taking on board as well.
Right. Well, His Royal Highness Prince Abdulaziz bin Salman is quite interested in the idea of the circular carbon economy. It's a practical and affordable way to approach climate issues. It includes the normal 3 R's of the circular economy, which is reduce, reuse, and recycle, but it adds a 4th very important item called remove. And this, in a sense, says that in those cases where population growth and economic growth are continuing to make hydrocarbons important parts of the energy scene, that ways can be found to deal with the emissions associated with the use of hydrocarbons.
Now, also, as you say, IRENA is involved in this too, so it's almost more powerful today to have both of you forces together here. A lot of talk will be about sustainability, about renewables, but bringing IRENA into the picture is the first time here that you're doing this joint conference, which is very exciting here. And I think that you can both add a lot to particularly all the participants who are going to be here.
Right. Well, as far as the kingdom is concerned, renewables will be a very, very important part of the energy mix as we go forward. There are big programs underway in the kingdom for solar panels, for wind power, and other forms of renewables, possibly even including biofuels made in different ways. Hydrogen is another example. That's the reduce part of the circular carbon economy. Efficiency, fuel switching, nuclear power, bio energy in different forms, and it's part of that all of the above plan that is actually quite acceptable to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia.
Now, talk to me about your involvement with the International Energy Forum. You've been coming here for many years. Of course, it's the 20th anniversary, a very exciting time for them. But do you see it as a platform, and how has it evolved over the years?
Well, not only is it the 20th anniversary of the International Energy Forum, it's also the 10th anniversary of the comparison of energy outlooks, which the IEF has worked on. This is like one of my favorite topics because it's data. Data is very important. Understanding problems is critical. Having data and transparency in issues like this is important. If you can't measure it, you can't manage it. And what the IEF has been doing through the Jody data program and others, including KAPSARC, are doing in terms of data collection is making this available to researchers so that they can model and understand the interactions between different sources of energy.
Talk to me briefly about Jody. I mean, this has been in place for several years here. And again, I think it's introduced a lot of transparency into the market, information and data, as you say, that we probably didn't have access to before.
It's particularly important, I think, in the GCC region. The United States, for example, the UK and Japan have been collecting all kinds of economic data for many years. In the GCC region, it's younger nations in many ways, and data collection, although it's getting stronger and stronger, is not as easily accessible as it is in other countries, and that's really changing. In Saudi Arabia, the General Authority on Statistics is beginning to collect a lot of really good information, and KAPSARC has some online and it's free too, and all kinds of statistics for Saudi Arabia, GCC region, and others.
Now, of course, you're president of KAPSARC at the moment. For perhaps a few people who don't know what it is, a major research institution. Just tell us a little bit about some of the great work that's going on there.
Well, KAPSARC was founded to be a fact-based research institution for energy. We have programs that are looking at oil and gas, of course, but electricity, climate and environment, urban infrastructure and transportation. We also have a very sizable effort underway to model the Saudi economy and to look at other macroeconomic issues like this. Putting all this together and virtually every report that we do is available free on the KAPSARC website is something that is adding to the global database for analysis of energy issues.
Now, talk to me a little bit about your previous role with the Department of Energy and indeed how that relationship with the IEF has actually evolved and where you see it maybe going forward.
Well, I spent some time at the Energy Information Administration in Washington as the administrator, the head of the agency. This is part of the Department of Energy. EIA was responsible for collection of all of the energy data and analysis being done in the United States. When I got to EIA, what was on my priority list was making the analyses more timely and more relevant, more usable for policymakers. And we're doing the same thing at KAPSARC, and it's been a really interesting opportunity to be in the kingdom at this time of very rapid change.
Looking ahead for the role of the IEF, do you see it becoming more important, more relevant, and really having a stronger future when it embraces the sustainability element and also the circular economy perhaps, and just looking at the entire energy environment right around the world?
Well, I think that the IEF is a terrific place, as I said, for dialogue, getting people together to talk about the issues. The main partners of the IEF are the International Energy Agency and OPEC. Being able to put producers and consumers together in the same room to have a civil conversation about what the major issues are is remarkable in this time of polarization that we see in a lot of politics. I think that there's a fantastically positive role that the IEF is playing and will continue to play on this area.